Hey guys, today I want to start out with a scripture. It comes from Matthew 14, and it's actually more of a passage, but we're talking about when Jesus walks on the water. And today we're going to talk about stretching, and where we are stretched in our faith, and how that happens, and what exactly God calls us to do in situations where maybe we don't exactly feel comfortable doing. So, Matthew 14, the disciples are in a boat. They're on a lake, body of water. All of a sudden it gets crazy, starts to storm, right? And they're freaking out. There's water everywhere, the wind is crazy, there's lightning, there's thunder, everything is going wrong, okay? Little boat, a lot of water, not good, okay? So they look out and they see Jesus, or they see a man standing, looks like on the water, so kind of weird, right? And they look out to him and he starts to talk to them. They're afraid. They're like, what is this guy? What's he doing? And verse 27, Jesus says immediately, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." And the disciples respond. They're like, okay, weird. Peter says, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." He's giving Jesus a test. He's like, okay, if it's really you, tell me to come walk on the water, because I know that's not possible. And, if it's you, maybe you can make that happen. I don't know. Verse 29, he says, "Come." Okay. Yeah, that's kind of reassuring there, kind of scary, okay, now what? So Peter gets out of the boat, and he walks in the water, and comes towards Jesus. So he steps out in faith, and he's like, okay, if it's you, I'm going to walk out on the water, and I'm going to be okay. All of a sudden, he looks around him, and he sees the wind, he sees the rain, he's reminded of the storm, and he becomes afraid. As soon as he becomes afraid, he loses that confidence in Jesus, and he sinks in the water. And he cries out, he's like, "Lord, save me. I'm sinking, I'm drowning, I'm flailing here. No water wings here." And he's upset, and he's cries out to God. He says, "Save me. What are you doing out here?" And immediately Jesus reaches out and catches him by the hand and says, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" And that's a scripture that, we've all been stretched in our faith, right? We stretch before games. We stretch before practice. Every day before we go out and do something on the field, we have to stretch. And when we're stretching, we're preparing for something bigger, something more important. But we can't just go out onto the field and go 100%, not expecting to get hurt or not expecting to be at our 100% potential, right? So we stretch our muscles, get them ready to go, work out any soreness, gotta be ready. So sometimes we come to spots in our faith where God says, "Hey, I need to stretch you here because I need to prepare you for something bigger here. So I need you to trust me with this little thing over here so that I can take you later and show you something that is bigger, that is more important, that is maybe a little more difficult, but we need to prepare for that now by stretching in your faith now so that we can grow." If we're always in the same, situation, same position in our faith, we don't grow, right? We need to step out and ask God, okay, God, what is it that you need me to trust you with? What is it that you need me to do to be stretched in this situation? And sometimes God will answer, and we're like, I don't really like that answer. So what's option B? And He's like, okay, see how it is. Maybe you need a little time to figure this out. But God will take us and stretch us in our faith. A big part of my testimony is I was a super shy kid who nobody talked to at school because I wouldn't talk back to them. How awkward is that? You talk to somebody and they just stare at you. Yeah, that was me. Ask some of my high school students, like friends that I knew, and they probably wouldn't know who I am because I didn't talk. I asked some of my, some of the seniors that I played with in college, and they'd be like, yeah, she didn't talk until her sophomore year of college. So God has really healed me of that and given me a lot of courage to go out and do crazy things like make videos and devotionals, and it's completely stretching me in my faith, and God's really rewarding me with different realizations and ways that I can use the things that He's given me on the field and also share with you guys. So stretching our faith is so important that we trust God and give Him that trust and say, hey, this is uncomfortable, I don't like it at all, and I'm not ready for this, but I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to do it anyway. And that is an act of trust, an act of faith, where we're saying, okay, God, I think you're crazy, but I'm going to try this. And He's like, I know you think I'm crazy, but this is good for you. This is going to help bring me glory. This is going to help further my kingdom. And that's the goal, right? So when you find yourself being stretched and pulled in different situations where maybe God's taking you into a situation where you're way scary. No, I'm not going to go stand up and talk at FCA. No, I'm not going to go, to my school and say, hey, I'm starting a Bible study. Or, no, I'm not going to pull my team in and, pray before games because that's scary and I don't want to do that. Maybe God's leading you saying, hey, this is a stretch. This is scary, but I'm going to be with you always, and I'm asking you to trust me here. So be encouraged if God is taking you somewhere that, might be scary, might be new. He's going to be with you always, and He's asking us to stretch our faith and test our faith and make our faith stronger by trusting in Him.